As you expand your mental abilities and remove branches of conventionally wrong thinking, you'll realize that everything is consciousness, and any further cause is a despot. Relying on an outside power is a lost battle. As Emerson once said, man surrounds himself with images of himself. Each soul creates a realm beyond a realm and a home beyond a home, and the only person who can fully see you is you. To create a world greater than the one visible to you, surround yourself with people who reflect the real you, especially when feeling down. Consider the images that your mind's composition has painted on your world as a painting. There are already as many patterns on your canvas as there are people on the earth, thanks to your boundless consciousness. Turn to yourself and claim your desire for yourself. Feeling yourself in its center, draw the image you have in your head onto the canvas. Everything is at your disposal. The strength of your desire will determine if it manifests. Since you alone are accountable for the happenings in your own life, keep your attention on yourself at all times. You may have thought you failed because a concept never came to pass. However, the absence of a sense of naturalness is the sole cause of failure. An assumption doesn't suddenly become true. In direct proportion to how natural a possession emotion feels, a want is also gratified. If something doesn't feel natural to you, it's not in your nature. To ask in my name is to ask in my nature or character. When you ask, think that you already know the response. Whatever you ask for in prayer, have faith that you'll get it. Since consciousness is the only reality, it's imperative to have your wish come true. Everything you see is only a representation of your mental state. It's useless to look for anything before you discover its source, since an effect depends on a state of consciousness, and you can't find the effect without being its cause. If you don't believe that the desired condition is normal, you won't be able to externalize it, because consciousness is so readily observable. When do you believe you are the person you want to be? What percentage do you believe you have actually achieved now? Matthew asks, "How long will I be with you, you faithless and perverse generation?" Cling to the truths you already possess, because nothing can be done without faith. It serves as the cornerstone of the desired result and the source of every phenomenon. If you let the most recent headline or news story lead you away from your intended direction, you're being perverse and will fail. The definition of perverse includes turning in the wrong direction without having a fixed destination or single-minded goal. If success is your ultimate objective, though, you must maintain that attitude until you are unable to withstand the feeling of victory. On the other side, opportunity is plain impudence. If you are adamant in your assumption, won't your blatant blockage stop you from accepting your senses' denial of your assumption and force you to rearrange reality's elements to conform to your assumption's pattern instead? It's crucial to manifest and persist until discovering fulfillment comes naturally. Transformation happens organically when it's time for it to. Jacob told the Lord, "I won't let you go until you bless me." You might spend the entire night wrestling with a concept. Like Jacob, for all thoughts come down from heaven to take on bodily form. If you insist on believing your wish has been fulfilled and won't take no for an answer, it will externalize to your good fortune. Scripture tells the story of a man whose child had died. But when he went to the man of God, he asked that the kid be made alive. The story goes that there was a judge who had no regard for God or man. Within each of us, there is a similar judge who will grant our wishes if we persist in asking for them. Just as the widow in the story who came to the judge at midnight and refused to leave until her wishes were granted. When our desires are not satisfied by conscious thought, it is as if it is midnight. However, if we persist in filling our desires with awareness, we will become what we are aware of and always be surrounded by the authentic version of ourselves. We cannot change who we are, but we can perceive who we are. By observing how we react to life, we can gain a better understanding of the person we want to become. As we begin to identify ourselves with our desired state, dissociation occurs. We must continue to maintain this attitude, and if we ever lose our enthusiasm, we must find it again and put ourselves back in that frame of mind. When we are in the frame of mind of our desired state, our thinking becomes normal until it feels natural. However, the key issue with many truth students is that they are always building but delaying moving forward. When we achieve our desired state, we must feel it all around us, as if our prayer has been heard, and merge with it so completely that it becomes the source of our thoughts. We alone determine when the state will externalize, and it will come to pass if we continue to view the world that way with a focused and unbending mind, unaffected by distractions. Our faith in a supporting force can delay the externalization of our desired state, so we must be aware that our awareness is the source of our power. It is heavenly and unbroken. When we are struggling with our desires, we may think our name is John Brown or Mary Smith, but we must abandon our mood and take on a new nature. Our real name is I Am, and our nature describes our predominant mental state. If we fail in our new relationship when new phenomena appear, serving as witnesses to our imaginative inner eye, it is only because we lack initiative and frequently revert to the mood we are trying to break free from. If we are aware of what we want and already have it, we will not let anything on earth stop us from expressing it. We will avoid distractions and keep our momentum by walking in the mood of fulfillment that is currently in charge. Desire is a secret self, and if we want something, we already have it. We must imagine that our prayer has been heard and answered, for all we can do is think that we already have it. The one who prays effectively becomes the one who initiates and provides the requested action. It cannot be given by any other being. The one who mentally rearranges things is the one who grants the answered request. We must develop our thinking organization skills, and if we find ourselves walking through a field of unfulfilled prayers, we must turn around and walk through one instead. Trust is the foundation of hope, evidence of things we are unable to see. All prayer begins and ends in consciousness because it is the only source of reality and matter. The entire book of Hebrews is focused on the concept of faith. Faith is seeing someone who was before invisible and is the substance of things hoped for. They received this wonderful news along with us, but because it was not accompanied by faith, it was useless to them. Without faith, desire is pointless, since faith is the understanding that desires are genuinely fulfilled. Let's imagine that humanity is on a quest to discover themselves. But what is it that they must uncover? The answer is their freedom. However, to truly be free, they must go through experiences that teach them how to use their freedom properly. Once this lesson is learned, they will be truly free. Throughout history, we have seen man progress on this planet, and we have discovered that all of nature is waiting for man's self-discovery. Nature is always ready to serve him and do his bidding. We now have access to laws and forces that our ancestors could never have dreamed of, and we can consciously make use of them. Man has gradually merged with nature, and he now stands out as a new being when it comes to the mechanical world. It appears that he has conquered nature and forced it to serve him. Throughout this journey, man has never found nature opposed to him. Instead, she has silently waited for his recognition and done his bidding. Nature will never contradict herself or operate against her inherent laws, but she will serve whoever comes to understand and use them along the lines of her way of working. Man never created any of these laws, but simply uses them. However, he can only use them after he first obeys them. Nature obeys us as we first obey it. This is an old saying, but it's true. We must learn the fundamental principle of a law, obey its mode of operation, and then have conscious use of it. It would be absurd to say that nature punished us because we did not make proper use of her laws. She simply will not work harmoniously for us until we harmonize with her. She will obey us only after we have obeyed her. This is true of any and all law. If we obey it, it serves us, and if we disobey it, it seems to punish us. Enjoy manifesting. Enjoy manifesting.